You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Most writers and radio show hosts know that to connect with your fans, you need to do more than just write books or record the latest podcasts. There are many different elements that go into forming an online platform, but there are also many hidden traps. To make matters worse, solid advice on how to survive the muddy waters is scarce. In the book Hidden Traps, I talk about some of the important issues of working with an online platform, highlighting traps that could put your physical or internet security at risk or be harmful to your reputation. Are your social media posts just links with a few disjointed words, making you look like someone who can't complete a sentence? Did your new website cost you more than you anticipated? Are you leaking your personal contact details across the web without even knowing it? Then you need Hidden Traps. Hidden Traps is now available in paperback and ebook from a variety of retailers, including Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Kobo. Visit blackwolfpublications.com for more details.
Do you need a car? Been shopping only to be turned down because of bad credit, low credit, no credit, bankruptcy, or divorce? Guess what? Today's your lucky day, because now you can buy a car, truck, or SUV, just about any vehicle. It's true. Bad credit doesn't matter. No credit doesn't matter. Bankruptcy or divorce, it just doesn't matter. As a matter of fact, your job is your ticket to your new vehicle. We're Auto Credit Express, and we've helped thousands of people just like you. Antonio H. told us, great company, got me connected, and the day I went in, I drove off in the car I wanted. 100% worth your time. Need a car? Get started now and drive off as early as today. Just text FINANCE, FINANCE, to 357-911 right now to get started. That's FINANCE, FINANCE, to 357-911. Auto financing the easy way. Text FINANCE to 357-911.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
Everyone loves liberty. Our rights come from God, not the government. So why are you letting other people tell you what's best for your health care? Exercise your freedom with Liberty Health Share. Liberty Health Share is a community of people who voluntarily share one another's medical costs. Liberty Health Share is founded on the idea that most people truly want to help one another. Healthcare sharing allows members to do just that as a true community that supports one another in times of need. Liberty believes people should make decisions for themselves and their families. Members are able to take back the freedom to make their own decisions about their health care. Freedom from guilt or doubt about how your money is used. You have the freedom to direct your health care, not to be dictated to by bureaucrats. Stop letting others tell you what to do and join a community of like-minded people. Exercise your freedom. Join Liberty Health Share and take back the control of your health care while helping those around you. Call Liberty at 855-58-LIBERTY. Again, that's 855-58-LIBERTY for more information, or you can check them out at libertyhealthshare.org. Again, that's libertyhealthshare.org.
My son was in the Army back during Desert Storm, but even then he wanted an MBA. He looked at a dozen schools, but only one offered the online education and flexibility he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq. Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is. If getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. You'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now. 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
At St. Jude, a family never sees a bill at all. It's like the world has been lifted off of your shoulders.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
Sometimes writers feel lost, unsure why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing into full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, offering manuscript critiques and line edits through a mentoring editorial style. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your websites. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services, visit blackwolfeditorial.com.
You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark. It's time now for the Conservative Curmudgeon Radio Show. Now, here's Grouchy.
It is so good to be back with you. It is Wednesday night. You are on KLRN Radio, and I'm the freaking Grouch. And I am in a grouchy mood tonight. I got a little salt we're going to get out into the air here just shortly. But before we get rolling, programming reminder coming up following me tonight. FUBAR with Politibunny and Orty Packard. And then R&W with Dan and Rick. And then America Off the Rails with Rick again. So do yourself a favor. You got the Grand Slam of Conservative Talk right here on KLRN Radio. Wednesday night TV sucks, so be with us. Okay. So anyway, now to the salt. Let's get this saltiness out because I don't like it. And I want to get rid of it so that I can put it behind me and let go and be a happy Grouch for a change. Look, there are a lot of idiots out there on social media. There is absolutely no doubt of that. We all know it. But there is a particular group of idiots right now that are trying to use a tragedy to be tasteless, classless, moronic comedians, or at least so they claim they're comedians. They're claiming that their Notre Dame Cathedral jokes are just jokes. But, you know, here's the thing. There's an old axiom regarding jokes and comedy. If you have to explain it to people over and over and over and over, it's not funny. It's not comedy. That makes it stupid. Okay? Now, I'm not going to say anybody's name here because I'm done with the attention whoring that these people are doing. I'm just going to complain about what they're doing. I'm not going to tell you who they are because you'll see them. They're out there. Oh, they're really proud. They think they're just so edgy, dark Twitter boys. Friggin' idiots. That's exactly what they are. Friggin' idiots. And I got nothing for them. So here's the deal. And I tweeted this out the other night, and I'll tell you again right now. If you follow these edgy boys that like to joke about Notre Dame Cathedral burning down, when they're really not joking, because here's the difference, okay? Somebody tells a funny joke. You know it's funny. You know it's so obvious that it can't be anything else but a joke. Okay? Now, when somebody thinks they've told something like this, but they have to keep explaining it to people, it's not funny. Here's the other thing, too. When people question them on it, and they go further and double down on the stupidity, and then tell these people that they're shit people because of their beliefs, it's not a joke. It's not a joke. And it's not even with Notre Dame Cathedral. Okay? That was just the first one I had on my mind tonight. There was another one in particular that I dealt with yesterday that was screaming at the top of his little blue check lungs about where is military honor, Donald Trump? Well, Donald Trump was never in the military. He would not have military honor. He was questioning veterans that support Trump, saying that they were honorless. Well, he didn't say they were honorless. He insinuated that they had no honor, which is even more cowardice than coming out and just saying it. But these people are absolute attention whores and morons. And I'm tired of them. And guess what? You don't go around, you don't get to question a veteran's honor if you haven't served. That's not how it works. Okay? Until they prove beyond any shadow of any doubt that they are honorless, and you can show that proof, stop. You don't get to question their honor because you disagree with their politics. And just like I did to this blue check, he was thoroughly destroyed. And I will do the same to anybody. I don't care whether they're a male. I don't care whether they're a female. I don't care whether they're white, black, brown, red, yellow, green, blue, purple, or plaid. I don't give a damn. I'm sick of stupid people thinking that they're cute. They're not. You might feel cute, but I'll delete you later. I guarantee it. Now, going back to the Notre Dame Cathedral, let's talk a little bit about that, because French President Emmanuel Macron has vowed late Monday that they will rebuild after the fire devastated part of the iconic building, but failed, according to the city's fire chief, to destroy it completely. And they said it was close. They said it was real close. They said another 30 minutes of it burning could have ruined it forever without the possibility of really putting it back together as was. The two landmark towers appear to have been saved, and cathedral officials relayed in a tweet the news that the main structure has been, quote unquote, saved and preserved. Macron told reporters at the scene that the fire, which brought down the top portion of the 850-year-old cathedral spire, was a terrible tragedy, and expressed his sympathy to Roman Catholics around the world. He said, "We will rebuild Notre Dame together," and signaling a fundraising effort would be launched. Trust me, the funds are there. This is happening. Okay? And that led to another worthy cause getting launched. And I don't know if he was the one who actually launched it, or if he is the one that relaunched it, or whatever. But I saw it on Yashir Ali's Twitter feed that he was pushing the funding of the historically black churches in Louisiana that were vandalized and were desperately trying to rebuild and just weren't able to get funds rolling. And I wanted to be part of that, and I retweeted Yashir's boost of that effort. That is a state that's very close to me, just a couple hours away into Louisiana from where I'm at. So it's something that hits a little close to home, because we have churches like that here too that have been standing for 130, 150 years and even longer, especially, not exactly where I am, but, I'm between Mobile and Pensacola, Mobile, Alabama, and Pensacola, Florida, that is. So I'm within a half hour to 45 minutes of a lot of historical buildings, the French architecture, the Spanish architecture in these historic cities, goes back even beyond the formation of the United States in some cases. So it is a cause that's near and dear to me, and I love seeing those historical sites preserved. It doesn't have to be a church. Yeah, I mean, there are other buildings that are worthy of these kinds of fundraisings, but it just so happens that these were churches that were vandalized and are in need of being rebuilt. And Yasher did a great thing getting that out there. Again, I don't know if he originated it or not, but I retweeted him, and I hope that anybody that can and feels moved to do so will help with that as well. Anyway. Notre Dame Cathedral, known the world over. Everybody knows where it is. Everybody knows what it is. President Trump tweeted, "God bless the people of France." Whatever support we can offer. Let's see. It says something, forget all that. French's Civil Protection Agency subsequently explained that dumping water from aircraft onto the fire could have led to collapse of the cathedral structure because of the weight. Look, people had these ideas. Why didn't they fly tankers and dump water? Okay. Well, that's why. Because when you dump water, you're literally dumping thousands upon thousands of gallons. And I don't know what these water bottles hold, but I do know that I think some of the smaller ones might be limited to like 1,500 gallons. Some of the bigger ones probably get double that. That's, 30,000 gallons of water is a lot of weight. I don't know what that is, but heck, it's certainly enough to collapse a building that's already being structurally challenged by fire. So that would answer that question. So you'll see the conspiracy theorist people talking about how they refused to do that and it could have saved it and blah, blah, blah. No. So hundreds of firemen of the Paris Fire Brigade did everything they could to bring this fire under control. They used every means except for the water bombing aircrafts. Again, Parisians just watched, jaws dropped as the fire raged in the cathedral, located on the small island in the River Seine. The fire occurred shortly after the beginning of Holy Week, when Christians marked the entry into Jerusalem, the trial, the crucifixion, and resurrection of Jesus. Catholicism is the biggest religion in France, with some 45,000 Catholic parishes across the country. Although mass attendance numbers are low right now, that could have a lot to do with people leaving the country and immigrants coming in that are not Catholic. There's dynamics and demographics to be considered. But the symbolic importance of Notre Dame to the faith is significant. And in 2016, there were several Muslim women arrested on suspicion of planning a terrorist attack near the cathedral early on a Sunday morning. A car containing gas cylinders and bottles of diesel and a burning cigarette was discovered parked in an alley near the cathedral, and two women were seen fleeing the scene, and the car did not explode as was evidently intended, and the police used identifying information to track down the suspects, who had links to ISIS terrorists in Syria. Now, no one at this point is saying that this is an ISIS attack. Do not even try to twist my words. This is in the past. It is not a secret that attacks on Christians and Christian symbols featured frequently in ISIS propaganda publications which called for crusaders and cross worshippers to be targeted and envisaged a day when ISIS black banner would flutter over the Vatican. ISIS said, "We will conquer your Rome, break your crosses, and enslave your women by the permission of Allah." And this was the ISIS. They had their own magazine. Did you know that? I've covered this before. ISIS had their own magazine. I don't know if it's still in publication, but it's called Dabiq, Dabiq. The Dabiq magazine was quoted as saying that from an ISIS spokesman back in 2014. So anyway, that's the long and short of what's going on with Notre Dame Cathedral. And we're going to bounce back home here. And we have an audio clip that we need to play from one of our presidential candidates when he was on his town hall and got asked a question that seemed to stump him to the point of embarrassment. And his reply became even more embarrassing for him later. And this is, I think it's about 2 minutes or so. Rick's going to go ahead and cue it up, and let's listen to Bernie field this question about taxes.
Because, this whole thing about fair share.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So he was asked about, now he's a millionaire, and his...
Hang on, I think I grabbed the wrong part of the audio. I screwed up.
No, that was right. That was right. That's how it starts.
Okay, I thought that was the end of it. Hang on, I'll cue it back up again. I was like, what did I do?
Because, this whole thing about fair share.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, here we go.
So he was asked about, now he's a millionaire, and his fair share, and let me play the exchange.
Your marginal tax rate was 26% because of President Trump's tax cuts. So why not say, I'm leading this revolution. I'm not going to take those.
Come on, we're doing... I pay the taxes that I owe. And by the way, why don't you get Donald Trump up here and ask him how much he pays in taxes?
Okay, the other guy's doing it, so I'm doing it too, is not a good answer. Okay, I think we all can agree that was not a good answer. But he should have been ready for that. And by the way, I don't know how a millionaire is paying 26%. He's got a good accountant. What do you make of this response?
Well, first of all, I was shocked that he actually combed his hair, which was great. That's a great start for a millionaire.
Unnecessary.
No, look, here's what he needs to do, and what they need to do at the University of Vermont. They need to teach a course, and Bernie can be Professor Bernie again and talk about the virtues of the free market versus socialism, which he espouses, which has collapsed everywhere. Socialism destroys wealth. It destroys freedoms. He made, as Jess said, and it was a perfect example. He worked hard. I don't envy Bernie Sanders. I'm proud. I'm happy for him that he made $2 million on a book sale. But here's what I would suggest with that $2 million. Here's what he should do. Because in Vermont, they pay the highest monthly premiums for health insurance. He wants to give away free health insurance. He could buy the free health insurance for 350 people in Vermont with that $2 million.
So that's the thing, because he scoffs, I pay the taxes I owe. By the way, that's the rule. Mm-hmm. The problem is when you're Bernie Sanders and you rail against people paying their fair share and you don't have the huge charitable donations and you're not donating money to the IRS, you are a hypocrite.
I mean, again, there's no inherent hypocrisy in saying, I would prefer a socialist system. We live in this one, and I pay the taxes I owe. There's no inherent hypocrisy in that. But when he spent the weekend attacking a liberal outlet for correctly citing that he has changed in his speeches, railing against millionaires and billionaires, to railing against multimillionaires and billionaires, the defensiveness just shows it really undermines the integrity of his message, and the integrity of his message was what Bernie Sanders had.
There you have it. Okay. That, folks, was CNN. That was, I believe it was Aaron Burnett leading that interview session. That was CNN trashing Bernie, just basically talking about what a fail that was. So on that note, on the note of taxes, we know that that day has just passed. Monday was tax day. And in that vein, and in the vein of Bernie, of the 150,272,157 tax returns filed for the 2016 tax year, and this is the last year that there are complete numbers for, 50,219,667, or 33.4%, were classified by the Internal Revenue Service as quote-unquote non-taxable returns. That means the people who filed them paid $0 or received money back in income taxes, according to data published by the Statistics of Income Division of the IRS. In the same time frame, 80% of all income taxes paid that year were paid by tax return filers who had adjusted gross incomes of $100,000 or more. So get that, okay? 1/3 of all people either paid zero or got money back. Whereas 80% of all the taxes that were paid in were paid by people who had adjusted gross incomes of $100,000 or more. Who's not paying their fair share? You can look this up. There are the statistics with the graph charts and all that good stuff on the IRS's webpage. A taxable return, according to the IRS, is a return that has total income tax greater than $0. A non-taxable return, on the other hand, could either have a negative or zero tax liability after accounting for all credits, including refundable credits. So, again, 100,052,490 people had taxable returns. So 2/3 of those filers, 2/3 of everybody that filed, paid all the tax liability. So 100 million people paid all the tax liability for 350 million people in the United States. Again, who's not paying their fair share? In the years from 1986 to 2016, the percentage of tax returns that were non-taxable peaked at 41.7% in 2009, the year the last recession ended. The lowest percentage of non-taxable returns during that same period was in 1986, when only 18.5% of all returns filed with the IRS were from taxpayers who paid zero or less in income taxes. And when they say or less, they mean getting a refund. So in 2009, the peak year for non-taxable returns, according to the IRS, they received a total of 140,494,127 returns. Of those, 81,890,189 were taxable and 58,603,939 were non-taxable. Big numbers going quickly. I know we're trying to get to the bottom of the hour here and do a break because I know Rick gets antsy. So, I mean, again, honestly, the big story.
Honestly, not really, since we have the Spreaker ads on the front and the back anymore. I really don't care.
Yeah. Okay. So we're going to run a couple minutes past the bottom of the hour here. So the big thing here is that we've got a lot of people that don't pay taxes and even get money back on top of the tax money they get back. And what we have is less than 1/3 of the country supporting all of that. So the next time somebody starts talking about people need to pay their fair share, let's stop and think about what that fair share should be. Should any government be entitled to 33, 35, 38% of what you make? Think about that and then realize what we mean when we say, hat tip to Ordy Packard, taxation is theft. It's absolutely ridiculous to think that the people that already pay taxes are the ones that should be paying more. How? I mean, how much more? Right now, the, what do they call it? Tax Freedom Day, I think it is. Hang on a second. Let me look it up real quick while we're on the air. I believe Jonathan Hoenig calls it, or Hoenig calls it Tax Freedom Day. Yeah, Tax Freedom Day. Guess what? Tax Freedom Day for the average American is April 16th now. You have to work 105 days into the year just to pay your taxes. Just to pay your taxes. You know, just as little as 2 decades ago, it was in late February and early March. What our government does to us is theft. There are no ifs, ands, or buts about it. What taxation has become is theft. And I'll let you think on that while we get ready to go to the commercial break here. And when we come back, we're going to continue. And if I can click the right buttons here, we're going to continue with Nancy Pelosi. So go get your refills. You're going to want to hear what Aunt Nan has to say. And we'll check it out in about 3. So press the button, Rick, and let's do this thing.
Was in the Army back during Desert Storm, but even then he wanted an MBA. He looked at a dozen schools, but only one offered the online education and flexibility he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq, Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is. If getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. You'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now. 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-783-0810 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-783-0810. Again, that's 800-783-0810.
Jumping through some hoops, wanna get my body loose, wanna tell you what to do. I've been running out of bounds like an animal struggling, looking for a diamond. I'm trying, I'm fighting, riding in the rhythm now.
All right. I love that song. Of course, I love all my music. That's why it's my music. I have the best music consultant in the business, who's actually not in the business, but that's okay. Still the best. Programming reminder, we got less than a half hour before FUBAR rolls in and takes over the airwaves and just sends the swear-o-meter into overdrive. Why? Because they that's what they do. I mean, gotta love it. But anyway, they'll be with you in about 20-25 minutes. Then it's Rick and Dan, and then Rick with America Off the Rails to nightcap it. So just stay tuned. You got 3.5 hours of great radio to go. Well, 3 anyway. But anyway, that's where we're at on KLRN Radio.
Are you implying my show that comes on last sucks? Is that what that was? No,
I was actually referring to the rest of my show, but anyway. When we left off, as promised, or as teased, we were going to see Aunt Nan and see what she's up to. You know, the Democrats have had some infighting going on as of late, and you may not hear that a lot from the media because they don't want to actually have that exposed and have to report on it and things of that nature. But, you know, this new freshman class coming into the House, they're a lot more radical than your standard Democrats like Pelosi and Hoyer and people like that. Even more left than Maxine Waters, God help us. But they have been taking their shots at leadership. And the other day, Nancy Pelosi was doing a little sit down, and she took an opportunity to take a little backhanded, we'll call it a Gibbs slap from NCIS, if you've ever seen that. That's the only thing I can really reference it to. It's kind of loving in a Nancy Pelosi kind of way, but also kind of sit down, shut up, and speak when you're spoken to kind of a tap to the back of the head. So go ahead, Rick, cue the audio up. This is Nancy Pelosi the other day.
When we won this election, it wasn't in districts like mine or Alexandria's. However, she's a wonderful member of Congress. I think all of our colleagues will attest. But those are districts that are solidly Democratic. This glass of water would win with a D next to its name in those districts.
So there you have it. There's a little backhanded slap at Ocasio-Cortez. She acts like she was this revolutionary to sweep through this district in New York. And as Nancy alluded to, a glass of water with a D next to its name would have won. And she's absolutely correct. She is absolutely correct. Ocasio-Cortez, or let's skip the crap, okay? Cortez's district, and she hates to be called Cortez. She likes the hyphenated name because that's her name. And I'm typically not one to go and call somebody by their name. I just get tired of saying the whole thing. So, anyway, her district is a liberal district. There are no ifs, ands, or buts about that. However, the turnout in this district that put her in office was 11%. 11%. That means 89% of the people in that district registered to vote.
Wait, are you sure you don't mean 11? You sure you don't mean 11%?
Oh, well, I mean, 11 is an awesome number, so no, it's not that.
Okay, just checking.
Yeah, 11 would be like where the speakers go up to, you know? These go all the way up to 11. Yeah. Anyway, 11 frickin' percent. Are you kidding me? 11%. Anybody with half a brain, because she doesn't have that much.
Nice girl, but about as sharp as a sack of wet mice.
Exactly right. So anybody with half a brain at how to run a political campaign could go into this district as a moderate Democrat. And all they have to do, now look, 11% turned out, and she won by like 18 points over the incumbent Democrat, which means she would have taken about, let's say he got 46%. She would have taken 54% of 11%. I don't know what those numbers break down to, but let me tell you something. If you can't go into a district like that and win more votes than that, you're talking about crap, I don't know.
She basically won with 5.7% of the vote.
Yeah, I mean, really, that's about what it breaks down to. That's about the long and short of it. Less than 6% of the vote. I'm telling you now, this one can be taken out of office. She can. She can, and I think that there are enough people in her district that may even want that now that they see how crazy she actually is. Where we're in trouble, folks, where we're in trouble is places like Ilhan Omar's district in Minnesota. You will never get her out of there for as long as she wants that seat. Okay? She's in a district where Barack Obama relocated 80,000 Somali refugees. And this Somali woman ran in that district and was put into office by a large majority of Somali refugees who are now able to vote in America. That's where we have problems, because you'll never get a Republican in there that can flip that. You'll never get a non-Muslim that can go in there and flip that now, whether it's a Democrat or a Republican. That district is lost forever now, because already we're seeing children born to these refugees that aren't far from coming of voting age. And they're not going anywhere. So that's what we have to really worry about, not people like Ocasio-Cortez who can be taken out. It's just amazing to me, you know, these leftists and their extreme viewpoints. And speaking of leftists with extreme viewpoints, another presidential candidate, Representative Eric Swalwell of California.
Pardon me. First of all, it's either Swallowswell or Duke Nukem. You choose.
Well, he could be either or both, but I was gonna pick on him and call him Swally. You know, like G Swally. You were a little extreme with that hot take.
Whatever floats your boat. I'm sticking with Swallowswell.
Anyway, so this guy has decided that the main focal point of his presidential campaign is going to be gun control. He thinks that's the issue that America wants to vote on. I don't have a dummy bell, but if I did, he would get it.
I could have had one if I had some morning.
Well, I mean, again, that was not scripted. That was right off the top of my head right now. So, sorry. But this guy said that under his plan, the owners of semi-automatic, quote unquote, assault. Hey, look, a dummy bell. But the owners of semi-automatic assault weapons would face criminal prosecution for refusing to surrender them. This is a man who does not understand the Second Amendment. And even CNN's Jake Tapper pointed out something that Swalwell wrote last year. Swalwell wrote, and this is a quote, "We should ban possession of military-style automatic or semi-automatic assault weapons. We should buy back such weapons from all who choose to abide by the law, and we should criminally prosecute any who choose to defy it by keeping their weapons." So Tapper asked Swalwell, "What's the punishment for people who don't hand in their guns? Do they go to jail?" Swalwell replied, "Yes, Jake, they would." But he also offers, he's so magnanimous, okay? Swally is so magnanimous. This is the guy who just threatened to nuke Americans that didn't want to turn their guns in too. So that's how magnanimous he really is. But this guy is so magnanimous that he's offered an alternative that would allow you to keep these weapons at a hunting club or shooting range under lock and key. And he said that the reason that he's proposed this is because these weapons are so devastating. He said he's seen this as a precursor, or as a prosecutor, he has seen this as a prosecutor in cases that he has prosecuted. Apparently he has no idea what he's talking about, because I can promise you right now that a .223 shell from an AR platform rifle does nothing close to the damage that the .45 hollow point that my Springfield Armory .45 ACP does. I guarantee it. Oh, but it's the violence they have caused. It's the fear, and the fear is immeasurable that our children live in, he says, because they are still on our streets, and he wants to get rid of that fear. So basically, he wants to get rid of the fear by punishing law-abiding citizens. He has no plan to do anything to the criminals. That's the whole thing with these people. They don't ever talk about what they're going to do to the criminals. They just want those evil NRA people. They want to disarm NRA members. They want to disband NRA because they want to get rid of the Second Amendment. So all this talk you've heard about nobody wants to take your guns away. Nobody wants to take your guns away. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. And you're going to get behind this guy. The gun freaks. This is, you watch, okay? Because even though it hasn't happened yet, I'll guarantee this guy will get the Shannon R. Watts endorsement for president. Way to go.
You'll have to tell me because I'm blocked.
Yeah, well, I'm blocked too, so somebody out there can tell us, but it won't be for me seeing it. I can promise you that. Yeah, I was blocked by her a couple of years ago. I can't even. No, we won't. One night I'm going to sit down and I'm going to do a show just on the people that have blocked me on Twitter and why, and it'll just be one of those fun things to kick around.
The one I'm the most proud of is PETA. I earned that one.
Yeah, and you should be. And the one I'm most proud of is the group that was formed to promote Hillary for president called Faith Voters for Hillary. And all I did was ask a simple question of how they reconciled their faith with the endorsement of murdering unborn children, and I was instantly blocked. No offering of an answer or anything, but that one's real proud for me. But anyway, moving forward here. So, Swalwell is using his skewed poll numbers, saying that he wants these universal background checks and longer delays, and says that so do 73% of NRA members. No, they don't. No, they don't. I think I've seen one or two NRA members say, oh yeah, I'd be good with that. No. Absolutely not. So anyway, that's Swally for you. That's Swally. And we're getting close on time here, so we're going to skip around a little bit. Give me just a second, because I want to, tomorrow's the big day. They're going to drop the Mueller report tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. I don't want to talk too much about it because I don't like trying to fan flames or anything like that, but this will be the redacted version. And there is a reason it's redacted, and the Democrats know this, but they will scream and cry and whine about it anyway, even though there are select members of leadership that are being privy to the unredacted report. But that's here nor there. You'll still see it used. And also, I don't know if it's a Ben Shapiro original, but be prepared tomorrow for Mueller to be branded an agent of Putin working to prop up Donald Trump in the United States and bolster Russia's interest in this hemisphere. Prepare for that, because you'll see it. It won't take long. And let's see, what else is going on? Oh, hey, guess what? Canada is planning to crack down on the unimpeded flow of asylum seekers into their country. Imagine that. The Liberal government of Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has made a formal request to the United States to amend a 15-year-old border treaty between the countries. A spokeswoman for the U.S. State Department declined to provide details, but the idea behind the Safe Third Country Agreement is Canada and the United States are equally open to refugees, and under terms of the pact, asylum seekers who try to enter Canada at an official border crossing are sent back to the United States. The loophole, however, is those who cross the border at an unauthorized point of entry can proceed into Canada and file their claim. So they're looking to close this loophole. Canada wants to shut down taking in so many people. They're starting to realize what this costs. And they're getting more lined up with countries that are bucking the EU over in Europe in taking these refugees in as well. And it is what it is. You'll never see that hit big, wide press stories, but there it is. And I think that's going to be about it. I don't think we have time to really go into anything else like Yuma, Arizona, begging for help because of the situation at the border. But no, that story is out there and it is brewing, and they are begging for federal assistance to shut down the flow of immigrants into Yuma. All right, folks, that's going to do it for me. I know that Politibunny and Orty Packard are practicing their swear jar contributions right now. I don't know. Maybe they did away with the jar because they were going broke. I don't know. But you can be damn sure that there'll be somebody in the chat room keeping track of the swears tonight. So do yourself a favor, stick around for that, and then you get Dan and Rick, and then you get Rick after that by himself. Look, it's been great. It's been fun. Hit it, Rick.
I already did. Keep talking.
Well, I'm your host, The Grout.
Never mind, you're cutting out now anyway. Anyway.
I hate this place. Nothing works here. The medications don't work. I've been here for 7 years.